And hello, we are live. What's up out
Happy
there?
Friday.
Happy Friday, yes, for those of you that where it is Friday.
Where it is Friday,
in the world, yeah. Sometimes it's hard to remember we have an international tribe. So for us today, we have a lot of questions on tap that were asked ahead of time, so that's pretty awesome. And we have those ready to go, but feel free to ask.
Yes, Marge.
Yes.
We are, sorry, we're a little late.
We're 2 minutes late. We're not that late. We're all right. Anyway, so on tap today, we have some questions that were already prepared, but feel free to drop your questions into the chat room at any time. Usually we like to do a little bit of a life update as well before we jump into questions. So let's see, what's life update here in July for us, Claudia?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
No, we've had some family visit. I've had family visit.
Yeah, a lot of family visiting us this month. Everybody wants to come out to California in the summer. Go figure.
Yeah, especially my Texas family. So it's super hot down there.
Yeah, so that's been awesome. It's been some
other than that, not much of anything other than just working on the app.
Yeah,
website.
Lot of work on our new technology platforms is what we're spending a lot of time on. I'm sure you've noticed we're not releasing as many new videos. We're still releasing 2, 3, 4 a week, but that's about as many as we can get out in addition to all this work we're doing on the new website and the new app.
So thank you for your patience.
Yes.
And for all of the feedback that we've been putting on Instagram
Totally.
And Facebook. You guys have been really awesome. So thank you so much.
And we've said this before, but I just want to reiterate it again. Thanks to your support out there. It's enabling us to take what is a good product, but sometimes can not look very professional. And we're trying our hardest to make it more professional and to put our best foot forward. So that's what we're spending our time on. And again, anytime you want to say hello, feel free to, even if you don't have a question, you just want to say hi, feel free to drop us a line in the chat, and we're monitoring that as we go. All right, so let's get started on the questions that were submitted ahead of time.
Okay, I'll read it first. So this is from Jasmine. She wants to know what the best way to strengthen her wrists and hands are. She's moving up in weights, wants to build more muscle in her arms, but she finds that her hands and her wrists go jelly and she can hardly hang on to her dumbbells. So what are our suggestions?
First thing is, Jasmine, that's really just a part of the process. And I'd love to tell you there's here's 3 quick fixes that you can do. But really, if your grip work and your forearms and your biceps are a little bit weaker, maybe like you used to do a lot of cardio where you're not used to holding on to dumbbells or whatever that may be, that might just be the part of your body that needs the most work. We all have a weakness, right? So the weakness is going to scream at you and yell at you the most. That doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong. So one thing you can do is check the girth of your dumbbells. If you have particularly wide or wide grip fat dumbbells, that's going to make it much harder to grab onto.
Especially if you have smaller hands.
Then one with a skinnier handle. So dumbbells with skinnier handles are going to be easier to hold on to throughout. So that's one little quick tip. You could try wrist wraps, but usually those just exacerbate the problem because now your wrists are going to, or your grip is going to get weaker because it's relying on the wraps. So my honest advice is just to tough it out and then understand that's something that you're going to keep on working on. All right, who's up? We got Heath. What's up, Heath? Fist pump. How you doing? And Aaliyah. I'm sorry, didn't mean to totally leave out Aaliyah. My bad. Say hi. You guys settle on a logo yet? No, we have not. So
we have been talking about that all week.
So for those of you that don't know, we put out there to the HASfit tribe community. We put out 3 new logo design proposals, and we got a lot of excellent feedback, including over 1,500 votes. So I've analyzed all of the data and all of the feedback and tallied the votes. And so between the 3, one got 32%, one got 36%, and one got 33%, in that range. So they're all very close. And we're basically just going to take the best elements of each one from the awesome feedback that we got from everybody and kind of work with the designer together to make the finished product. So no, we haven't. Still in the works.
Yeah.
Still in the works. Okay, getting back to those prepared questions. Sharon.
Sharon.
Who's am I asking this one?
I'll ask you this one. This is
okay.
Another Coach Kozak. It says, I would like to know why you don't count when you are working out. Sometimes I feel like I should be even on both sides with her reps. She counts her reps, but when you're saying to switch sides, she may have done 1 on 10. She may have done 10 on one side and 15 on the other. She feels uneven, and she's referring to our timed.
Yeah, just the time-based routine.
The time-based routines that we do.
You
So,
know,
and actually someone else piggyback off of that, Stephanie, one of our patrons, was like, she felt the exact same way regarding the time and the reps. So.
Okay. So yeah, excellent question. So the primary reason that we do not count repetitions is because you have to realize we're making routines that have to work for a very large group of people. You know, we're almost up to 3 million people a month now. And so making workouts that allow people of all fitness levels and abilities and disabilities to work out together to the same routine, you can imagine is challenging. And one of the ways that we do that is by using a lot of timed rounds. So that allows somebody, if you're in great shape and you want to go gung-ho and you can do 15, great. Somebody who's just getting started, maybe they can only do 8. That's okay. It allows people to work at their own pace. Yeah. So that's the primary reason why we do that.
We don't want to discourage anyone who can't keep up. The reps.
But when you have an exercise that has to be done each side separately, if you will, which is maybe 20–30% of the exercises, yes, for those exercises, it's always best to do the exact. It'd be perfect world do the exact same amount of repetitions, but we are doing the same amount of time. So if for some reason you find you're doing more on one side than the other, maybe next time you do that routine, switch and do the other one first. But in the micro here and there, it's all going to even out. Sometimes this side might get a couple extra, this side might get a couple extra. Your body is not that precise where a few reps here or there is going to throw you off in any capacity. Our routines are very careful to work your body evenly. So right. Who's next? Kate. Yep. Kate is next. Kate says, hi, Coach K and Claudia. Hello, Kate. I'm a beginner and I love your videos. Thank you. My question is, when is the best time to work out? I'm a night owl and get home late from work, and sometimes I have a hard time deciding where to fit a workout routine in.
Well, so Kate, the best time to work out is when you have the time and you have the energy to do so. So there is no right or wrong time of day for you to work out. Just be mindful that if you do have the energy after work, late at night, to do a workout, and you do it, that it may give you a boost of energy. Right. And you may have a hard time falling asleep if you plan on falling asleep, within a couple of hours after you work out, which is why I try not to work out too late, because then I'm up for hours. So again, just
but if you don't have that problem, and if it, you don't have an issue, that's the only negative thing that you could potentially run into, if you will, is unnecessary, unwanted boost of energy.
Yeah, exactly. But if you have, again, whenever you have the opportunity to get it in there, time wise and energy level wise, do it. So we just encourage you to fit it in when you can.
And I had a post recently that kind of talked about my own personal workout scheduling.
Yeah.
Your energy levels are directly correlated with what's called your circadian rhythm, which is like the natural rhythms of your body, which is why sometimes of the day you always feel tired and sometimes of the day you always feel like energetic, right? And everybody's different. So I think just learning your own body and understanding what times of the day you have the most energy, and it sounds like you already know the answer to that question, Kate, yeah. Which is I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
Then work out at night. Mm-hmm. Just get it in. Most important part about workouts is to do them.
Correct. Consistency.
So Leah's got another question here if you want to read that one, Claudia.
Yes. Hi, Coach and Claudia. First off, you both are very inspirational and I enjoy your workout videos a lot.
Oh, thank you.
It's very sweet of you. Recently, I started to learn BJJ, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. My grips are very poor and my shoulder mobility is limited. Do you guys have any tips on how to strengthen grips and improve shoulder mobility? Thank you. Grips are very popular.
Yeah, well, grips, at least this week.
Yeah, this week people are having some grip issues. Okay.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are going to start noticing grip issues once they're getting a lot. For many people, once they start getting into more functional based training. If you're used to doing like machines or circuit training or cardio, traditional cardio aerobics, you're not used to working your grip at all, really. So all of a sudden, when you're holding dumbbells or you're using them functionally, a lot of
we
times
don't do a lot of writing anymore either, right? So I feel like sometimes you used to get, sorry, didn't mean to get off topic, but
I'm not sure if only you're squeezing your pen. We don't get that squeezing your pen anymore. All right, so we had. All right, so okay, so let's address the two things. So first off, the grip. Yes, I would try to incorporate some of our back and bicep workouts, because those are really going to emphasize your forearms and your pulling muscles, which in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, it's really all about that grip, and as you know, grabbing onto the other your opponent's gi and pulling them into you. And so I would go to the HASfit website and check out our back and biceps workouts. For your shoulder mobility, we have a shoulder stretching routine. Check it out. So for both of those, we do have some video solutions for you. Not uncommon to get into a new sport like BJJ and have some shoulder mobility issues. And it's probably not just shoulder, so I also recommend you check out some of our full body stretching as well, because you really need full body flexibility to excel in that sport. All right, let's move on to the next one. Who's up next? Bernice has got a question. I'll ask. Sorry, I will read this one. Hi guys, with your assistance, I am now down 145 pounds of fat and up a lot of muscle. Oh, that's excellent work, Bernice. Awesome. That is incredible. That's like a whole other person.
That is another person.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Give it up, HASfit Tribe.
Seriously.
I'm having skin removal surgery in a few months and will be unable to work out at high intensity for 8 weeks. Do you have any recommendations for workouts I can do during the recovery period other than just walking so I don't lose much muscle tone, and any good workout tips you can give me to make sure I ease my way back into things properly? I'm very worried about losing muscle and stamina and going backwards.
Okay, so since you won't be able to work out at high intensity for 8 weeks, I'm assuming that you're going to be cleared for some sort of physical activity. We do have our chair workouts available on our website that will allow you to not a lot of exertion with those chair workouts. So you can do a lot of, maintaining your resistance training for your arms based on the weights that you use, your legs. Of course, we definitely want to make sure that all of this is approved by your physician. So you should get his approval before even starting the chair workouts, just to make sure that it's cool with him. And
you might have some movements that feel okay, and then some that are just a no-go. So you may have to kind of modify and pick and choose as you go.
Exactly. And then even though you're not doing the high intensity, you can check out our low impact or lower intensity workouts, beginner routines, just to kind of keep you humming along. And just because you're not working out at a high intensity doesn't mean that you're not getting a good workout. So we definitely don't want you to feel unmotivated or like you're not doing enough work. Also during this time, because you're going to have a lower energy exertion, just really focus on your nutrition during this time as well, so that you're not at the risk of gaining weight, right? So you just want to make sure that you're getting in a lot of your lean protein, because it's going to help with your appetite, a little bit of an appetite suppressant. Fill up with low-calorie vegetables. It's got a lot of fiber. It's going to keep your belly full. Of course, your fruits. I would probably even suggest keeping a food journal or tracking your food of some sort. If you have the tendency to kind of overeat, a great way to keep yourself accountable during this time is to track your food.
Totally. And that's because, I mean, honestly, if you think about it in the most basic of terms, your body's used to doing these high intensity workouts. Let's just say, I'm gonna throw out a number, that in a week time, your body is used to, let's say, burning an extra 1,500 calories. I don't know, just an estimate, an extra 1,500 calories a week through these workouts. And if all of a sudden you stop the workouts and you keep eating the same, well, that's an extra 1,500 calories a week in your diet. And so that could easily, so basically that's like a rate of like pound every 2 weeks. So you definitely will want to adjust your your eating accordingly.
Correct. Also, if you have any particular trigger foods, keep those trigger foods out of your house during this time as well. Because, you know, whenever you aren't working out as much, like you said, you might feel unmotivated or depressed or sad. So anything that's binge worthy, keep it away, keep it out until you are able to get back up to your full workout routine.
All right. So we have Declan is next.
Declan, greetings from Ireland. Hello. Love the workouts. Can you recommend what movement stretches, weight exercises, etc. can help improve my running?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've had this question. It's a growing question as I think we have more and more runners that are using our workouts as a supplementation for cross training for their running, which is great. And because of that, we actually, small note, are planning on within the next 60 days or so releasing a runner specific calendar or schedule that'll work as a supplementation. So you'll say, okay, I run 3 to 5 days a week, and then I do my cross training 1 to 2 days a week in addition to. So that solution is on the way for you guys. Just the opportunity to talk about that. So can we recommend movements, stretches, weight exercises? Okay, so let's start with stretches. So we have some dynamic, our dynamic warm-up routines that I'd recommend. We have maybe 6 or 7 of them now, so plenty of variety. I'd recommend you check those out and perform those before you actually go out on your run. And then afterwards, then I recommend you check out our static stretching routines. So we have our full body static stretching routines that you can do post run, and I'd try to get that in at least 2 to 3 times per week in addition to your running. And this is why we're coming up with the schedule. It's because it can be kind of complicated. And then lastly, strength training. So when we run, especially long distance runners, your muscles atrophy. So for most people, when they actually start running, they lose muscle. They don't gain muscle. And strength training is an important component to make sure that you keep your muscle mass. So I'd recommend adding 1 to 2, depending on your running frequency, between 1 to 2 like total body strength training workouts per week. And if you're running 4 or 5 days a week, I probably wouldn't do HIIT in addition to, because you're probably already you're already servicing those needs. Now you need to build up some strength, build up some muscle, and that's what those days will accomplish.
And foam rolling is
foam
great.
rolling is also great.
If you don't have a foam roller as a runner, you should definitely invest in one.
Yeah. In addition to the static stretching, foam rolling could be great. Yeah. We have the group chat is blowing up over here, so let's acknowledge this for a minute here. Marge says she was referring back to the question, the last question with Bernice and the chair workouts. Marge said, I recommend all the chair exercises. I started with all of them and moved up to standing ones. That's awesome to hear, Marge. Way to get after it. Oh, Sarah giving Bernice some love. Yes, I agree with Marge in the chair routines. Show the videos to your surgeon and get details when and how much, perhaps. That's good advice.
Good advice.
Chris asks, I'm not sure how old you guys are, but what workout and diet changes do you recommend over time? I'm used to intense training, but worry about maintaining athleticism as I age.
Actually, I was going to get to, there's somebody who asked a question sort of similar to that in reference to aging. And I will be addressing something like that in a little bit, Chris.
Okay, so Chris, we might hold off on that.
Hold off on that one.
And then Heath was asking, I didn't realize you ran so much as well. I stopped running when I started these workouts. Now I feel I need to add back in. Heath, no, I don't run that much. I know, like, I think you've probably just been looking.
Follow Coach on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Snapchat.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I don't have the time for it, and it's just there's nowhere I can just like go out my front door and run here. We got like a 20-30 minute drive, so it's not something that I do very often. But it's so beautiful here in the summer that when I have time, like, I love it and I go out. But right now I might be running in the summer twice a month, maybe.
Yeah,
like, and before that, we're just because I want to communicate with Heath here for a second. And before that, I didn't run all spring or winter, so don't feel like it's not something I'm doing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not in my current training.
And I started off as a runner when we first met, and I stopped. One, because I got my plantar fascia blown out, and then
in the middle of a run.
And then two, I just don't have the time anymore. Yeah. It's such a time suck. If it's something that you absolutely really, really enjoy, then do it. But if not, I mean.
Yeah, if you find the time for it, great. But just for me personally, I think I said that last time I got back from a run, because I went on a trail run. It was like a 30-minute drive to the trail, in traffic here, and then I went on like an hour run. It was 30-minute back, and then it was like a 2-3 hour thing, and I was like, I don't have 3 hours to like exercise.
And I don't like road running because then I just take in all of the like vehicle exhaust while I'm running, and I'm just not fun for me.
All right, let's go back to Declan here, who we had previously answered last question about the running. Thanks for answering my questions. Great actionable advice for me as a stronger runner. All right, great, Declan. Glad you were able to answer your question. All right, I think we have next one here is Jessica, and Claudia's going to take the lead on this one of her specialties. Jessica asks, I'll take any advice on what core workouts are considered safe and beneficial while pregnant.
Hi, Jessica. Thanks. Congratulations on your pregnancy. This is this is quite important when you are pregnant. So as you get bigger, your ability to do planks and things like that, and even lie on your back and do crunches are compromised. Just due to your growing belly and the stress that it puts on your body. So during the first trimester, you can still continue to do a lot of the same ab workouts. You can continue to do crunches, forward planks, and things like that. As your belly gets bigger, you can actually continue to do planks, but you can bring them more to an incline. So maybe against your couch. So you, of course, just want to make sure that you're engaging your abdominals. Make sure you're not feeling any strain or pulling or burning. You do want to feel that your abdominals are working, but if you're feeling any of those, then it's something that you may want to, if you're doing like 30-second planks, drop it down to maybe 15 seconds. And you can do 1 to 3 sets of the elevated or incline planks. So just engaging your abdominals, keeping the small curve through your lower back, and then just tighten your glutes to really just hold that position. You can also do a side plank. You can even do that up through your second and third trimester. So the same thing with the side plank, which you can do on the ground still, is just stack your shoulder over your elbow. Make sure that you're pressing your hips up, squeezing your glutes, and of course also holding that one for 15 to 30 seconds. Again, doing that for 1 to 3 sets. So noting as you get a little bigger with the core movements, diastasis recti is an issue as you get bigger. So just start being more aware of the signs. And diastasis recti is when you have the separation between your abdominal muscles, and you just want to feel for the separation in and around your belly button. So maybe a little above and below, and you'll really start to feel the separation. So you don't want to feel any bulging. And then you can do slow mountain climbers. You can even do them from an incline position like you would the planks. So just up on the couch.
And one of my favorites as well is a farmer's walk.
Yeah, farmer's walk. Do you want to demonstrate what a farmer's walk would be?
Yeah, farmer's walk. Actually, farmer's walk's a move that I put in my new book, which is coming out in November. Anyway.
It's on pre-sale.
Not on topic right now.
Not on topic.
But it's just, but a farmer's walk is literally just holding like one heavier dumbbell while keeping your shoulders square and walking, and keeping your core engaged. So really, you notice the trend is finding ways to engage your core without actually doing like a bunch of crunch movements. Correct. And I think the overall thing for any pregnancy exercises is if it's something that you didn't do before you were pregnant, then don't do it while you're pregnant, right? So, it's about understanding where your body,
where your limitations
are, right?
Right. This is not a time to be pushing your body to the limits.
That's kind of what I was trying to get at.
So just maintaining your exercise level, and then just listening to your body, knowing when to stop. If you're feeling dizzy, lightheaded, just take a break.
All right. Moving on to Stephanie's
question. Can you please explain the difference between cardio versus Tabata versus HIIT, and also versus strength training? It's very confusing. All of your workouts seem to incorporate strength, but what exercises can be considered strength exactly? So she's got a lot of questions about.
Yeah, I mean, so there
different routines.
So, and I've been transparent about this in the past, and I'll continue to be. You know, in order for us to grow and for our videos to be seen, we have to play the game, and the game on YouTube is essentially the video titling. So, you know, yes, we're using. I would love it if I could just put like 2-3 words on there and make titles that were a little more distinguishable from one another. But unfortunately, if I did that, then no one would ever find our videos, because y'all out there are searching for strength or searching for these key terms. So videos need to represent them. So I know I can definitely see how that'd be confusing. And once we move away from YouTube, we won't have to play that game as much. But that being said, Tabata is a form of HIIT, and HIIT is high intensity interval training, which is just a fancy way of saying you go, 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 and then you stop. And how those can be split up, there are countless ways that you can do that. And then strength, traditional strength training, where you're only training for strength, requires that you lift weights and then you rest until your bodies are recovered to some percentage level. But in order for you to get strength, you don't necessarily have to take that break. So there's a lot of varying in there as well. So there's a lot of variation to these terms, and they mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So there's, let's see, what's the other part of it? Strength I've said and done. Oh, exactly. Considered strength. That's what part. What can be considered strength when using body weight only? Again, your muscles don't know the difference between you lifting a barbell or you pulling a barbell or you pulling yourself up into the air and doing a pull-up. You know, they're both strength exercises. They're both using weight and resistance. So
body weight is great.
And so body weight's great. There's really not. Your body can't tell the difference per se. And I hope I kind of answered that question, which is I wouldn't worry about it. I think that's the biggest thing, is that what terms you're using to describe an exercise. And again, so much of it's marketing and branding, what people put out there. Doesn't mean that one thing is better or worse than the other. Do what you like and what your body feels. What feels good when you do. Let's see. We have another. Okay, now who's up? Jerry. Okay, so I will read Jerry's question. Jerry says, I'm sure the calories burned during a workout help with weight loss, but I'm unsure about is whether or not greater muscle mass and tone increases metabolism and burns enough calories during rest periods to have any real effect on weight. I've read conflicting articles on the subject. I don't have a major weight problem, but as I age, it becomes more difficult to maintain the slender body I had in younger times, and I hear that weight loss is all about diet and exercise. My current opinion is that it's 90% diet and 10% exercise. Am I wrong? And so you can tell this kind of piggybacks on the question that Chris was asking. Correct?
Yeah. So this is a big question.
Yeah. So complex that we're going to try to round up into 60 seconds or less.
Okay. So as you get older, something happens called sarcopenia. So sarcopenia is age-related muscle loss, and it is very real. So the progression is accelerated greatly by physical inactivity and poor nutrition. So as you get older, so after the age of 30, adults lose 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade. So that's why it's incredibly important that resistance training stays a part of your regimen as you get older, as well as consuming protein to help with the metabolic process of protein synthesis in your muscles and things of that sort. So staying active, yes. Muscle is going to help increase your metabolism and will assist in helping with burning calories throughout the day, even at rest. So we mainly want you to focus on your nutrition because that's important, and then accompanying that with strength training, resistance training, and even aerobic exercises as well as you age.
And Jerry says he thinks it's 90% diet and 10% exercise. I think I wouldn't quite go that far.
It's all about your lifestyle.
Right.
I think it's 100% lifestyle, and exercise and diet is your lifestyle.
And mindfulness and wellness and your own mental, your own mental health as well. So
yes.
it plays a role too, and how you eat and whether or not you exercise.
But it's also hormonal too, right? So sarcopenia, it's a multifactorial thing that happens as we age. So you could be doing all the right things, but if there's some hormonal things going on, that can also play a role. So just do the best that you can as you age to just keep up your resistance training, keep up your proper nutrition, and just making sure that you're getting adequate vegetables, fiber.
And then just I want to include the part that Chris was asking, which is exactly what workout and diet changes do you recommend? And I would say that the couple of changes I'd recommend. One is something I'm sure everyone already knows, which is as we age, we can get away less and less with cheating, right? When you're 20 years old, you can go get fast food at 2 a.m. and every other night, and you might still be at a reasonable body fat percentage. But if you try that when you're 50 and you're 60, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's all metabolism, right?
Exactly.
So trying to keep things coming.
Right. So as far as dietary changes are concerned, I think it's just tightening up, and and there's a
being
little
more mindful,
and there's a little less room for error.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your actual workouts, you talk about wanting to maintain athleticism as I age, and so do I, right? Because not only is it important to me personally, but it's important to me professionally. It's how we eat. We like to eat. So that being said, for me, it's about really focusing on the long haul. I'm not 20 anymore. I can't beat my body up like I used to. I got an injury, from in my 20s and playing sports at a high level. My body's beat up, and I had a lot of previous injuries. So for me now, it's all about just taking care of my body and not pushing it too hard. Like that's for me. I always have to kind of like pull back and say, well, yeah, I could mentally push through this right now, but then, what are the repercussions of that? Like, what am I going to gain? Maybe nothing, but then there's a possibility of me getting injured or, some negative response. So for me, it's all about trying to keep my body healthy. And that means, being careful in managing my high impact exercises. That means being careful in not lifting too heavy too regularly. For me personally, I don't like to run on pavement because running on pavement just beats up my back and my knees. So there are things that I know that I need to be careful of, and I'm just looking at longevity in the long haul and not like right now I'm trying to be the most fit person ever in this second, but instead I want to like still be healthy and be be as healthy as I am at 80 as I am today. All right, so
I hope that answers your question, Jerry. Again, just keeping up with your resistance training to help combat that age-related muscle loss, because it is real, and it's part of us maintaining our independence as we get older, right? We want to minimize falls and balance issues as we age. So that's a great way to do that.
All right, so this one I think is yours, Claudia. This next one.
It's from Sarah. Hi, Coach and Claudia. Just wanted, I think Sarah Bonner. I think she was. Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Sorry, go ahead.
She says, thank you for the wonderful stretches and workouts for beginners and seniors. I have a question. Do you have any recommendations for exercises that will help alleviate pain from post-op adhesions in the lower abdominal and groin area? She's had some surgery and hernia several years ago, and the pain has been relentless. Sarah Bonner, and actually, she did. She's in the room.
And she also says that it feels like a knife is plunging into her abdomen muscles, which I would say sounds like, just from your description, it sounds like you still have a bit of a hernia just from that pain. I would definitely talk to your doctor over that. That is not a common pain. If you have a lot of scar tissue built up, then there are procedures and methods to try to wear down on that scar tissue. So it's either my best guess is either A, there's still some type of hernia, or B, you have some immense pain from major scar tissue built up. But either way, I would look to your doctor to address those one of those two things.
Yeah, and actually Jerry just chimed in. Sounds like you just need to try harder with diet and exercise as one ages. Yeah. We absolutely agree. And Jerry, I actually was reading some studies before this from the National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health. They have awesome studies regarding age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, and things that we should be mindful of as we age. So I definitely recommend checking out those studies. I just go straight to the science is what I do whenever I have questions about that. Uh-oh.
Oh, and Sarah just pointed out that she says the pain is definitely from the adhesions, and she says sounds like she's gonna have to go back to PT, and that's unfortunate, but there isn't much that we can do from a modification standpoint to get around it. We have Susan has her next question here. Who's asking Susan's question? Claudia?
I think, yeah, we can both chime in on this one too. Susan Hahn, she's been a tribe member for a while, but recently she's been enjoying our muscle building program. Thank you, Susan.
She says Claudia's progress, it has been particularly inspiring, and she's interested in lifting heavier like Claudia does. I'd love more information on what she does for her real strength workouts, like the circuit workouts she posts on Instagram. How do you decide what body part to work, how many reps, etc.? So I personally strength train about 4 times a week. And then I usually have like one metabolic day that I throw in there, like kettlebell. Like a hit day.
Yeah, kettlebell or a barbell complex.
And it's important to know that like like as you go through and you're like a long time, you're not just a newbie, right? There's like what you got to go through as a fitness newbie where you're building a foundation. But then after that, it's very common a very common methodology to go through your training like in blocks, right? So, go through a block where I'm doing a lot of running, or I'm going through a block where I'm doing hits, or now I'm trying to do muscle building, I'm trying to build strength, etc. And so that's in cycling, your programs like that have been very popular for and successful for years. So that's nothing new to that. So right now, Claudia is in definitely a strength training block. So it's not, I want to make sure that people think, oh, well, that's all she does. No, well, that's just where she currently is for like the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. And then, in 2 months from now, I could totally move and do something totally different. So I just want to interject with that.
Yeah. So right now I'm doing a lot of strength training, and I like to, with my 4 days a week, I just like to hit total body strength. I'm focusing a lot on my glutes right now. Just for me personally, that's an area that I lack. My quads tend to take over a lot of time, and my glutes get neglected. So that's why on Instagram and things like that, you're seeing me do a lot of hip thrusting and glute focus, mini band workouts. But how did I set those up?
So I honestly, you said you've been enjoying the muscle building program. That's exactly what you should be doing, because they're going to be set up just like that. As far as sometimes doing more split routines, sometimes doing more total body, and then just making sure that all the body parts are represented. All of that work is already done for you in the muscle building program. So it's very similar to what she's doing actually right now.
And I've said this before, it doesn't have to be a 30-day muscle building program. You can continue to do that program for as long as you want.
Right, you just repeat it.
And then just progressive overload, right, is just as you get stronger, just continue to increase your weight to challenge yourself a little bit more. And then just, that's how I set up my training, honestly. I just try to make sure that I get a few total body ones in per day or per week. And actually, Susan Jeffrey Graham, a couple of sessions ago, was asking about how he helps with stinky workout gear. Susan had a really helpful tip. for washing her stinky workout gear. She says to wash your clothes once in hot water with a cup of vinegar for a full cycle, and then in hot water with half a cup of baking soda for another full cycle, and dry it as normal. She says she does this for her towels and workout clothes, and they smell great.
Well, thank you for the tip. I should probably do about
Susan,
half of my closet.
Because I would have never even tried that.
So we have one last pre-put together question here from Sarah. Her question is, how do you determine the amount of calories burned per workout that you show on screen in each workout? There needs to be just like a public way of putting this out there, because I mean, I understand why everyone has a question, but you just need to do a better job of communicating where to find the answer to this. But you want to go ahead and take this one?
Do I?
Okay, I'll take this one. So the calories burn calculation on the screen, we're doing a basic formula for that style of training. So if it's a HIIT workout, we're going to use a HIIT formula. If it's a bodybuilding workout, we're going to use a formula for strength training. And the lower number is for people in the 120-pound range, and the higher number is for those in the 200-pound range. So because the calories that you burn during your workout is directly correlated to your body weight. So we always kind of suggest that you are careful in trying to lean towards choosing a lighter number and estimating, or a smaller number and estimating your calories burned, just to be on the safe side. Looks like we have a couple more questions in the room. Chris K had a follow-up, which was, what sources of nutrition and athletic information do you recommend? Sources of, does he mean like
where do I get
like publications? Is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah, I get my publications from the science that's done by ISSN, which is International Sports. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's research done by Alan Aragon, Brad Schoenfeld, who are the researchers for sports nutrition and sciences. And that's where I go. Yeah, that's the main go-to. Oh yeah, they do all of that research. Yes, publications. Yeah, ISSN is where I go. And from one more, Basilic just wanted to say that HASfit has given me new life in my health and my overall energy. Love you guys. Basilix. I hope we're pronouncing your name correctly. Basilix. I see you on YouTube.
I know, we see you all the time. Much love, Basilix.
Much love. Thank you so much.
Wish I could pronounce your name right. Today's been a great session. I mean, we got a lot of good questions in, a lot of good time. We don't want to keep anybody any longer today. Much love for everybody for showing up.
Thanks for
hanging out with us. We say this at the end of every session, and it couldn't be more true. Thank you, because without your support, we could not do this without you. So thank you for all of your contributions.
I hope you guys have an awesome weekend.
Until next time, I'm Coach Kozak.
And I'm Claudia.
And we'll see you at your next workout.